Quorum. This is amazing. Okay, 11. Let's go. Let me know when we're good to go.
We're good. Sorry. Yep.
Okay. I call this third meeting of this third special meeting of the 12th Undergraduate Senate to order. I'm going to begin by calling the roll. If you're a proxy, just say hereby proxy, then your name. Senator Pintar.
Hereby proxy, Angela.
Senator Lipstein.
Here.
Senator Gale.
Hereby proxy, Sean Burton.
Senator Rogers.
Here.
Senator Zitzman.
Here.
Senator Bardo.
Here.
Senator Pugh.
Here.
Senator Kenna.
Here.
Senator Conover.
Here.
Senator Grant.
Here.
Senator Adeli.
Here.
Senator Smith. Senator Morrow.
Hereby proxy.
Senator. Okay, sweet, thank you. Senator Spivak. Senator Zenke. Okay, so we have quorum. Amazing. Okay, I'm going to move on to the adoption of the agenda. This is the agenda. Is there any discussion on it? Okay, the agenda is going to be adopted without objection. And we're going to move on to public comment. So any member of the public wish to speak at this time? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to reports from officers. Commissioner DeGose, feel free to come up and speak.
I'll keep it brief because I know that we have a long night ahead of us. The elections went, I think, fairly decently. There were some issues, especially when you talk about the spirit of the elections, that I believe need to be addressed in the future because people took it a bit quite too far, especially in the freshman races, in terms of looking at what I see as unacceptable. In terms of harassing candidates, in terms of taking down posters, in terms of actions that should not and will never be condoned by the Undergraduate Senate. However, when talking about the fair and free running of the elections, I believe that to the best of the ability of everyone involved, that it was, with the exception of a single race that will be touched on further by the Joint Commission on Elections Policy, which has the authority to determine that.
Any questions for Commissioner DeGose? Senator Rogers.
Is there a requirement in the policy book to list expenditures from the various campaigns and candidates?
To me, not publicly. So I have received from each candidate a list every day of what they have spent money on, or if they spend no money, the fact that they spend no money. So that is there. It needs to be checked by a higher body, higher authority, usually at student activities, and it's available at that time.
Any other questions? Yeah.
You know when that changed from the requirement being that it had to be listed publicly to just sent to you?
I do not know.
Senator Zitzman.
As far as you know, was any of that unethical nonsense you talked about earlier against a few of the campaigns done or directed by like an actual Senate campaign or somebody else?
To the best of my ability, I do not know if that is the case. I know I received reports of issues from students, not specifically names. I offered to direct to the judicial board who could maybe launch a further investigation, but nothing was ever followed up on that question.
Senator Lipstein.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of like articles and things going on about the research and bylaws because of this harassment and the lack of response we're able to give because the bylaws don't specifically tell you what to do in the situation. So should we expect to see a bylaw change?
So that's a two-part answer. One is I've seen these articles. I believe they misrepresented my response on the issue. My response was not there is nothing I can do. My response was I myself am very limited in my power. However, I am happy to direct you to the judicial board who has authority to prosecute on these matters if you so wish. No candidate ever approached me saying they wished to talk to the judicial board. However, that does not mean I believe no changes should be made. I believe that we need to create stronger rules and issues in terms of harassment because that is becoming an issue that I believe is unacceptable in a body like student movement.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the Commissioner? Senator Kenna.
Yes. Was there any issues in the conduct of the voting itself? Like, were there any technical errors?
So there were a few technical errors, as I discussed with JSEP. The only ones that truly affected race were in the races for the Cook School of Business, which was an issue with OIT where the classification of students seeking a degree in COGOD was changed last semester and not told to most people in Office of Student Activities, meaning that the race was not open to be voted on until 9 a.m. this morning, which is why JSEP spoke earlier. They do not believe it should be certified in any way, and I agree personally with that interpretation.
I have a multiple question again about campaign finance. First, would you say that you're familiar with the election policy book? Sorry, I'll just ask them. And second, did you send out the most recent and updated version of the election policy book? And if so, to both of those, are you aware that in the policy book you sent out and the one that's on the website, it says the Elections Commission is required to publish a daily public ledger with all campaign expenditures?
So I was not informed of that. I did not specifically send out a elections policy book. That was attached usually by the secretary in the emails he sent out on my behalf, which was a link to the one published on the AUS website.
Any other questions for the commissioner? Senator Kenna?
In the at-large race, were all of the names of the candidates running on the ballot at the start of the election?
At the start of the election, there was one name that was not on the ballot due to an OIT issue that was put on within an hour.
Can I have a follow-up question? What was the, you can't announce the results, but what was the impact of that?
I cannot speak to the impact because I do not know how much the hour affected the race, but what I do know is that as soon as I personally was alerted to the issue, I alerted OIT and then they changed it as soon as they were able to, which was within an hour.
I just don't know, so are you able to see how many votes are casted? Like in time periods, like can you see the time that the votes come in within the hour, how many votes are casted?
I cannot see the timing of votes. I can see the number of votes allocated to each race, but I cannot see the timing, so I cannot specify whether or not that had an impact on the race.
Any other questions for the commissioner? Senator Gardner?
Just a question. I was writing candidates to make sure to account for spontaneous elections and to make sure that those writing candidates, whether or not not if they register as writing candidate, whether they just have a name written, and could you account for that 10% of the vote? And for that spontaneous election rule subsection.
So a spontaneous election is simply a candidate who does not declare a writing candidacy to me and somehow gets a 10% plurality of all votes cast. I personally looked at every single vote cast in this election, including write-ins, and there was not a single write-in vote for someone not on the ballot already that exceeded 10% of all votes cast.
Any other questions for the commissioner? Senator Gardner?
Is that, as a voter, the amount of people who voted, is that information going to be public?
It should be made public. That is not my domain. I will announce the official winners at 10. Before that, we'll have to talk to, I believe, Chris.
What was the question? Will the amount of votes for each race be calculated? Like even if there is no winner, like for example, let's just since the Dakota race is not correct, but let's say someone voted for the Dakota race and they didn't win, it will still say like 10 votes, 1 vote. Will this information be made public?
If the election, so the election commissioner has to give that to me.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I can do that.
Any other questions for the commissioner? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to a report from the chair of JSEP, Mr. Josh Gutmaker.
Hi, everyone. My name is Josh Gutmaker. I'm the chair of JSEP. We certified all of the races this year, except for any race dealing with COGOD. Jacob brought to our attention that there was significant delays in being able to vote for COGOD. And by significant, I mean voting for any position in COGOD started at 9 a.m. this morning. And for the COGOD class president, I believe, right? There was one vote, and it was an abstention. So we decertified that race because it doesn't seem free nor fair. All of the other races were certified. That being said, JSEP believes that there are significant policy changes that need to be made to the policy book to prevent what happened in this race from happening again, both in terms of bylaw changes as well as making sure that outside groups can't be funneling money into Senate campaigns. We look forward to working with the Senate to make sure that that doesn't happen in the future. That being said, as I said in my confirmation, you all have oversight ability over me and the entire JSEP. So if you would like to certify any race that we deem decertify or vice versa, you have that right. But it is our formal recommendation that you certify all of the races except for any race dealing with conduct. Any questions?
Yeah, questions, Senator Lipsy?
Yeah, sorry. How many people ran for co-op president?
I believe there was one officially on the ballot.
Okay.
Again, one person abstained.
Right.
Not for that race?
That was for the Senate race.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions for, yep.
How, for other positions in co-op, were there competitive races or were there more than, is there more than one person running for?
There was no one running, but there could have, hypothetically, there was the space for someone to win in a write-in.
Yeah.
So we deemed that all not fair or free.
Any other questions for, yep, Senator Kenna?
When you mentioned recommended bylaw changes, you mentioned outside money impacting the Senate election. Is that a hypothetical, or could you speak to it?
I didn't say anything.
Okay.
But it is not hypothetical. There was an outside group that was spending money that would like buy stickers for a campaign, and one could argue that that had an impact on the race. We didn't deem it significant enough that it impacted the outcome of the race, which is why we certified it. But that's just a massive loophole that's been waiting for years, and someone took advantage of it this year, so we gotta, fix it. Thank you.
Any other questions for the chair of the committee? Yes.
What is that outside group and who runs it?
Multiple, so I'm not gonna name any of them off the top of my head. I don't know, sorry.
Any other, yes.
Are you planning to name some because you don't want to name some without naming all of them, or do you just like?
I have a class that starts in 4 minutes, and that's where my mind is, so I can't think of any.
Any other questions? Okay, so we're gonna move on to the certification process. So how this works is Josh is going to, I'm going to say the name of a race, like campus at large races, and then I'm gonna ask Josh JSEP's decision. He's going to say certified or decertified, and I'm going to entertain a motion to reconsider their decision. Does that make sense? And then if there's no motion, I'm just gonna declare it certified. So bang the gavel, we'll all keep going. Does that make sense? Are there any questions? Yes.
Does Josh really need to be here for this class?
There doesn't be a JSEP representative.
Do we have two other JSEP?
They can both represent me. I'm saying that in front of the public.
And the live stream.
And that's right.
Right, that's what I mean.
Okay, Josh, are you good?
That's why I'm here. You're welcome.
Would one of you like to
Congrats
step
to the winners.
forward?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sweet. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ron. I'm the newest appointee to JSEP.
Awesome.
Thanks for saying introduction.
Okay. Do you know how this works?
I just announced a decision on each race.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about how this process works? So if you guys like vote, to, like if somebody's like, okay, I move to reconsider, then we'll be reconsidering, and then you guys will vote, and then if you like decide to reconsider, then there's like another process where you got to decide if you're overturning their decision. So it's kind of like a two-pronged thing. Does that make sense? All right, cool. Let's go. I have a script. Okay. Would you please announce the decision for the campus at large races?
We recommend certify.
Okay. I will now entertain a motion to reconsider the decision of JSEP on the campus at large races. Okay, I now declare them certified. Class of 2021 races.
We recommend certify.
Are there any motions to reconsider this decision? Okay, I declare them certified. Class of 2020 races.
We recommend to certify.
Any motions to reconsider their decision? I declare them certified. Class of 2019 races.
We recommend to certify.
Any motions to reconsider? I declare them certified. Class of 2018 races.
Recommend certify.
Any motions to reconsider? I declare these certified. College of Arts and Sciences races.
Recommend certify.
Any motions to reconsider? I declare them certified. Koga School of Business races.
Recommend to decertify.
Any motion to reconsider? Seeing none, I'm gonna declare them or decertify. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. Seeing none, I'm gonna declare them decertified. School of communication races.
Recommend to certify.
Any motion to reconsider? Seeing none, I'm gonna declare them certified. School of international service races.
Recommend to certify.
Any motions to reconsider? Seeing none, I'm gonna declare them certified. School of public affairs races.
Recommend to certify.
Any motions to reconsider? Seeing none, I'm going to declare them certified. Thank you. Okay, moving on to old business, in which there is none. Moving on to public comment. If any member of the public wishes to speak at this time, yes.
Joyce DeServis, president of the Abramson Institute. Madam Speaker and members of the Senate and the public, I wish to speak on the absolute imperative nature, or really how imperative it is that the future Senate protect every student's right to freedom of association and freedom of expression. No doubt, I know my friend, the Senator for the Kansas at Large, did ask which groups were funneling money into campaigns. I cannot speak to every single one of the Abramson Institute, was certainly one that was funneling money. But I wouldn't say we were funneling at all. I would say we were looking for progressive candidates. We're looking for candidates who would reform the student government. And we're looking for candidates who were interested in making student government better. And we help them, like any friend would help another friend. So this is, to my knowledge, this Senate's last meeting. Am I correct, Madam Speaker? Or will it be the next meeting?
Our last regular meeting was
Right.
Sunday.
So this is the Senate's last meeting, but I would hope that the new Senate would seek to protect the fundamental right to freedom of expression that we all rely on. I think that's important. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Of course. Anybody else for public comment? You guys can speak at least of the order, but you can.
Can I speak as a member of the public? Really fast.
Oh, see, why not?
Okay, I don't know if I missed it or not, but I'm not seeing the School of Public Affairs on the agenda. Was
Oh,
that,
you just gotta scroll down.
It was certified.
was it certified?
It was.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to double check. Sorry.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about it.
We're having issues.
Just wanted, it's not legit.
Anybody else for public comment? Okay, so now we're gonna move on to go to the order. Anybody for go to the order? Secretary Schneider.
So just to comment on the concept of outside or non-SG groups or candidates spending money. I know this will be covered more in the first meeting of the 13th Undergraduate Senate. I agree, I think it's very important that we protect students' rights to express support for candidates. That being said, in the United States system of federal elections and state and local elections, there are accountability standards. And for that reason, that's why we ask candidates to provide their spending records. And that's why the federal government, state government, and local governments ask outside organizations, don't ask, require them to provide spending records. So just, we'll let that, keep that in mind as we move into the next Senate and we potentially discuss accountability measures and overarching election reform on multiple fronts, because there were a number of issues raised during this election cycle, ranging from harassment to campaign finance, that should be dealt with promptly, as we usually do when there are issues that arise during the election cycle. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at 10 o'clock in Tavern.
Anybody else for go to the order? Senator Lexine.
Yeah, good luck and congratulations to all of the candidates who just ran and are entering the Senate. Very exciting. And additionally, some of us have filed a petition for another special meeting to take place at the Senate speakers. So maybe we will see you all again soon.
Anybody else for go to the order? Senator Zitzman.
I would just say I hope that President of the Abramson Institute still intends to become a parliamentarian, because we need a parliamentarian. And if he does, that might present another ethical question of whether you be a parliamentarian and a super PAC.
Anybody else for the order? Trevor, or sorry, Senator.
I just want to say that this may be our last meeting, and that it was really enjoyable as a first-year student to be in the Senate with everyone and working with the senators here. and with Speaker Wills and Speaker Wheeler. It was a very enjoyable experience, and I encourage and wish the best of luck to the new Senate, and hopefully can continue the work that we started and we are continuing to work for.
Anybody else for good order? Senator Barton?
Yeah, I'm emotional about that. No, same, because, sorry, like, as a first year student too, like, the same was so important. You know, like, you'll hear from some other classmen who like it and some other classmen who don't. At the end of the day, you get to make your decision about student government as a whole and about the Senate, whether you think this body is important, and I believe most candidates here believe that. And your opinions may change over time. What I will always say though is be your own person. You know, I think the big, like, I always ask myself, like, why does, like, not only e-board or Senate not always get everything done or a lot done? It's because everyone is so caught up in the drama of things, and it happens. But always make sure to be your own person, to hold yourselves accountable, to hold the e-board accountable, to hold your fellow senators accountable, to hold anyone in student government accountable. Don't pick sides, don't do this because you think you're gonna get ahead. If you ran on this because you want to represent the students, and you want to fight for them, then do it for the students, not for yourself. And it can definitely happen. It can absolutely happen. I'll be the first one to say that. But do it for the students, not for yourself. And if you don't win, this doesn't mean really in the long term of life, in the long term of the year, it doesn't mean a lot. There are always opportunities. Always. Just reach out. That's all you have to do. If you care, I like to think of this university is here to allow you to do something you do. So with that being said, just remember, be your own person.
Anybody else for good of the order? Go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you very much for, I very much enjoyed my time as Senator for School Public Affairs for the year and a half time period that it was as a term. And it was a very good experience. I will not be returning. I did not run for the election, and I just want to say shout out to all the SPA leadership students who are running for re-election. There's like 8 or 9 of them, and that's very proud to see. I just want to say thank you very much. I saw a lot of change happen here in my time here, and I'm glad that I was a part of that, no matter, and I just want to say thank you very much. And it was a very valuable experience.
Anybody else for good of the order? Go ahead.
I just want to give props to Nancy and Maddie because they picked us up in the beginning of the year after Noah ditched us. I'm kidding. One block, but you guys did it with such grace and you took the game. So thanks, guys.
Anybody else for good of the order? Okay, I'm so good. Okay, so I just thank you all again for allowing me to be your speaker. I really enjoyed it. It's been a super fun time working with everyone, all of you, Cheyenne, and all the executives who are doing super great at their jobs. And I'm so happy to have those who are victorious in their races tonight. Good job, and I'm excited for you. And congratulations. And feel free to reach out to me to discuss the upcoming speaker election. Feel free to vote for me. Yeah, I'm super excited for the new Senate. Super excited for everything in the future. Let's go. Anybody else for the order? All right, seeing no further business, this meeting's adjourned.